rags. My lungs be akin to a mag, my breath bullets. All I be shooting is facts. Savage on the attack like a silverback protecting his pack. Mighty Max, a cash grab that worked. Launching in 1992, these toys were in the same vein as Polly Pocket, except they were marketed more towards boys in an effort to mirror the popularity of the girls' playsets in the late 80s and early 90s. As a kid, I absolutely loved these playsets. I mean, loved them. Something about the grotesque monster look combined with the cool-looking 90s kid wearing the sideways baseball cap appealed to me. I also liked his high tops. I had several of them and probably still do in storage somewhere. The toys, not the high tops. Anyway, we aren't here to talk about the toy, or the high tops, or the cool looking side. Well, I guess we could talk about the hat. Anyway, we're here to talk about the TV show that spawned from the toy. Mighty Max debuted in 1993 with a 2-season run until 1994. The show centered around a typical cool 90s preteen Max, voiced by Rob Paulsen, who you'd know from voicing various folks in the 90s, including Yakko from Animaniacs, plus Raphael and Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sick, who is gifted a statue of a fowl inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphs which translate, "You have been chosen as the cap bearer. Go to the mini-mart and wait for the sign, Mighty Max." Taken aback by the mention of his name, he drops the statue and it shatters, revealing inside was a red baseball cap with a yellow M on it, which he puts on. The cap creates portals, which has him able to traverse through space. Along with 2 friends that he meets, a wise old Lemurian who takes the form of an anthropomorphic fowl named Virgil, voiced by Tony Jay, which voiced various villains and stuff throughout the 90s, but you would know most from playing the villain in Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, and his hulking Viking bodyguard, Norman, voiced by Richard Moll? It's M-O-L-L, but he played Bull Shannon on NBC's Night Court from 1984 to 1992. I don't know. Max is tasked with stopping the main antagonist Skullmaster, who was voiced by none other than Tim f***ing Curry. I have no other words for that and don't really have to explain anything. You guys just know who that is. Most episodes involve Skullmaster or one of his minions to further the plot. However, in many episodes, Max and the gang would stop an independent villain. I believe I enjoyed this show a lot more as a kid because of the crazy creatures that Max would be put up against, and because of...
Norman! Norman was an awesome immortal Viking that carried a large sword and kicked major ass. After not being able to stop his father's death, this hulking badass vowed to become the greatest warrior that ever lived in the history of anything. The brute's exploits throughout history were the basis of many folklore, including Hercules, Thor, Samson, Lancelot, etc., 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 all of them. F*** it, he's able to go toe-to-toe with numerous foes and cut them down with pure and unadulterated ease. Mostly fearless against any of the freaks they encountered, but he was scared of spiders. I feel him. Ugh.
And the show contains some pretty grisly scenes for a kid's show. The characters Max faced were little pieces of nightmare fuel too. I mean, just look at Skullmaster, or Spike. One episode, and just look at him. He was a man that shoved various objects into his face just to prove that he was tough. Wow. Plus, you'd be engaged each episode wanting to see where it would take Max next and who or what he'd be fighting. It'd go from werewolves, to vampires, to aliens, to a weapon-wielding serial killer, to a f***ing dragon or giant spider. You just never know what would be next. I'd also say one of my favorite parts of the series was Max's dialogue. Rob Paulsen, being the incredible voice actor that he is, was able to deliver those one-liners with the dopeness and flawless. Real talk.
Good thing we knew this brush was gonna be here.
Right. You're a worm. An insect. I'm nothing.
Hey, don't get me steamed, bonehead, or I'll gnaw your ankles off. Where to this time, huh? Tahiti? Monte Carlo? Orlando?
Our destination is Schlepak, a small village in Eastern Europe.
Schlepak. Well, that sounds like a party town.
The end of every episode had a segment where they teach the viewers something about the lands they had visited in the episode itself.
Each adult female lays several hundred eggs. Over 1 million fossils have been recovered, including mammoths, ground sloths, prehistoric camels, and our old friend, Smilodon. Oh, to the ancient Egyptians? 5,000 years ago, they invented papyrus, the earliest form of paper.
I personally wasn't a huge fan of these when I was a kid. I understand, I guess. It was just, they used them to balance out the horror nature of the show. I don't know.
They should have had Norman at the end talking about the lands and being informative.
Acid.
That would have been great.
Acid. Shut up, dog. Like, we know. But we gotta talk about the other aspects of the show.
Like what? He made the show!
Like Skullmaster, for instance.
Skullmaster?
Mega powerful being. I won't tell you all the ending, but it's pretty dark and definitely showcases his strength as a bad guy. Plus, this antagonist said some of the craziest and most foul shit in the show. Well, I mean, for a kid's show anyway. He was messed up in all the best ways.
Go! Find him first and bring me his beating heart. I will teach you 1,000 subtle shades of pain. You can't escape. I'll rip your limbs from your body and slowly suck the marrow from your bones.
And Tim Curry voiced him beautifully, as always. That man can make anything sound more sinister than it really is when he's playing the villain, and the fact he said stuff like that made it even worse, especially since the target audience was children. Not complaining though, just describes why I'm so f***ed up.
Nothing can describe that.
What?
Nothing. Continue was just, Mighty Max. You think it still holds up today?
I mean, it's more of an acquired taste in my opinion. I personally love the show, and it holds a special place in my heart. I enjoy Max's one-liners, and anytime Skullmaster is on the screen, he instantly steals the spotlight. Norman and Virgil are great supporting characters, and Max is a dope protagonist. He's not much of a fighter or a complete badass.
That's Norman's job.
Yeah, but he's the mighty one for a reason. He's actually a bit clever. Overall, I enjoyed watching this show again. It's been years since I've seen it, and truth be told, I actually never finished the entire series completely, so the ending was a complete shock to me. I'd say it's definitely worth watching at least once in your life. The show also spawned a Super Nintendo game, which I've never played. Would love to at some point. Forgot to mention that.
That's it?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing really left to say, is there?
Well...
No, not Norman. Video over.
Oh, come on!
Want to know what we watch next? Let me give you a hint. Used to wriggle in the dirt, but now has a super suit. Oh, and an angry puppy. Comment below what you think it is. See ya!
Hasta la bye-bye, whatever you is.